It's been a while. How have you been? As you can see, I'm in a new space, but we'll talk about that at the end of the video. I want to talk about some minimalism tips that I've incorporated in my life. They're not necessarily new or anything revolutionary. It's just stuff that I've been practicing more to be more intentional and to like save money and stuff. I've been a minimalist for over 10 years, and these are just some things that I'm incorporating into my life a little bit more. The first one is don't buy a problem. This became a big thing for me in the years that I started to thrift more. And also because I taught myself how to sew, it's so easy for me to be like, this is a little messed up, but let me just take it home and fix it. And then I just have like this big pile of clothes that I've been meaning to like thrift flip. Don't buy a problem. It's not worth it. Learn to sew because you want to like maintain the clothes that you buy, but don't buy things that are broken, ripped, stained, and think like, oh, I can do something with this. If I have a very specific project in mind, like I make pajagi curtains, sometimes I want like certain materials for them. I will go and look actively for those materials, but I'm not just buying things and being like, oh, I can do something with this. This top that I'm wearing, I picked it up because it's 100% cotton. It is new. I won't promote the brand, but I noticed that the button was slightly off. This is something really simple to fix, but it's creating this really uncomfortable gap right here in my shirt. So if you see me from this angle, you're probably getting flashed. I just need to move the button over, which is so simple, but honestly, I shouldn't have to do that for something that is brand new. So I was intentionally going to take it back in to see if I try on a different one, to see if maybe it's just this one or just return it. My partner came in, he just gathered a bunch of clothes to wash, and then he ended up washing this, and it like even washed the tag off of it. Like I still had the plastic thing on. Anyways, whatever. It's fine. I guess I was meant to keep it, but yeah, don't buy a problem. It's not worth it. Don't have to keep everything for the sake of sustainability. This is such a big one. Naturally, becoming a minimalist, I started to care a lot about the planet and sustainability. And if anything, it almost gave me an excuse to like buy things now because it's sustainable rather than kind of using up what I already had. And like, we're talking like early, 2016, 2017 to 2020. It was so easy for me to like be like, ooh, I'm gonna get this straw, or I'm gonna get this reusable bag because I don't have one, even though I have like something that I can probably substitute for it. But that also turned into like, now I have this immense amount of guilt of getting rid of things because of the sake of sustainability. Not every single glass jar is going to get recycled, and not everything that you donate is going to actually end up in somebody's hands. But the thing was, I was keeping so much that it became a burden. So when it came time to move, I just had all this shit that I was like, I'm not using it, but I'm just keeping it because I feel guilty for getting rid of it. Yeah, if anything, now when I get rid of something, I have this like, that guilt kind of motivates me to not just go and buy whatever. Also, if you hear Cora whining, I'm not neglecting my dog. She's just dramatic. I literally was just playing with her 10 minutes ago. Yeah, so that act of getting rid of something and feeling guilty almost like motivates me to be more intentional every time that I purchase something. So when I have the mindset of buying something new or even used, I'm like, okay, if I get sick of this one day, how can I get rid of this item properly? And that also like kind of contributes into like how I purchase things. But we also like don't have to hold on to something, especially if it's not serving us. So now I just have to make a little bit more efforts to like figure out how to get rid of something. This one is new-ish, this like rule of mine. Letting love back into my possessions. I think I spent so many years trying to detach myself from my possessions that it made everything so disposable in the beginning before, which sounds kind of contradictory of the last rule, but there was a time where I didn't care about sustainability yet, and I was just getting rid of stuff just to get rid of stuff. Yeah, by putting love back into my items, I try to find new ways to use them. I also take care of my stuff. The thing is, like, when I used to buy sustainable fashion, like I was so scared to wear the item because it was so expensive. Now I truly have the mindset of like, things are meant to be used to get our money's worth, but also like when we put love back into our possessions, we actually take care of the items. And I think there's like this responsibility that we give to ourselves to make sure that this item is like used well and is appreciated, and we find a new home for it if we don't want it anymore. And I think it's like, especially like back in the day, it was really big with minimalism to like detach yourself from material things. Don't let them be who you are. But I have to disagree. I love my things, and that's why I have them in my life. And I don't have to like love my hammer, but my hammer is useful, okay? It helps me hang things on the wall. It helps me if somebody breaks into my house. Like if I'm trying a new product now, I always go for the travel size item. If it doesn't come in a travel size, I'll even reconsider buying it. Now, this doesn't work for everything, but I've noticed like I don't consume things quick enough before their expiration date, especially with makeup. So if I can find a travel size foundation, or if I can find a travel size blush or something, like I prefer that over the full size. I recently, in like the last few years, have introduced perfume back into my life because I really like perfume. I'm sorry, I know it's not, it's toxic, but I like it. I only get travel size perfumes unless it's like a staple scent, and right now I only have 2 that are staples. The rest are all travel size. There are staples in my life that I have been using for so long that I do buy the full size, and I recently really incorporated this travel size tip because I bought my own makeup for my wedding that I just had a week ago. A lot of the stuff did come in travel size, which was really nice. Some of it didn't. But I saved so much money by just buying my makeup. Now I do have all this stuff that I need to use up, but it's like the price difference of hiring somebody versus doing it myself. I saved so much money. It's also been fun to like dabble back into makeup again. Like that was something that I really loved when I was a kid. In fact, my first video on YouTube was decluttering my makeup. Changed the lighting. I felt like my neighbor was staring at me. I don't know what I last was saying. So yeah. End of my point, I guess. The last one is a bit controversial, and I'm really sorry if this offends anybody. I'm just being very honest, not being afraid of getting rid of gifts. I definitely have said this on the channel at some point, like, oh, just because it's a gift doesn't mean you have to keep it, but it's really hard to get rid of gifts from people, especially when they put a lot of intention and love into it. I think by making it very known to my friends how often I get rid of stuff, I think they expect it now. But in the beginning, especially making a new friend, when they kind of don't understand like how I'm the way that I am, I'll definitely receive gifts that I'm like, this is very cute and intentional, and I really, really appreciate it. And I love the sentiment, and I will never forget that you gifted this to me. Well, I might forget because it happens, but this is not useful for me. But the thing is, I do try to use the items. I don't just think, I'm not going to use this. I do give myself a little bit of time to try and use the items, but somebody out there that could use it. I just think that like we give too much meaning into look how much I love you because I gave you this item versus like expressing that or acts of service. Like there are other ways to also express your love, but also having respect the fact that not everybody's going to want to keep something that you give them forever. I think there's also like that expectation that if I gift something to my friends, I'm not going to be upset if they get rid of it. I just want them to know the act of me giving that to them, it's because I love them and I care for them. And that's what really is the message behind me giving you something, not because like, here's this thing that I expect you to keep forever and ever and ever. At the end of the day, I have a goal. My goal is to move out of the country. I don't know where yet. I want to move. Lucas wants to move, and I'm going to have to make some really hard decisions when that time comes, and I'm just trying to make that easier for me. I seem so insensitive, and I'm so sorry, but I'm just being really honest. Look, a friend came. I moved, as you can see, I moved into a new space. This was an opportunity that we were not expecting at all, especially being in the position that I am. We're financially okay, but like, obviously, not having a job, but we were also month to month, so we needed to move. It's just like where we moved is insane. Like we manifested this. I love this house. Coco Dutch's house too, huh, Cora? Hug? Oh, you're just so cute. I also checked out from YouTube because I got married literally last week. I planned a wedding in under 90 days, and it was so extremely stressful. I did so much. There were a lot of things that went wrong, but ultimately I had the time of my life. If you ever want to hear about it, I can talk about it, but I think it would be really boring for people that have like no interest in getting married. that's it. Thank you for watching this really long video. I will talk to you later. Bye.